President Biden's spending agenda hanging on by a thread right now as he desperately tries to sell the American people his Build Back Better plan. The president yesterday claiming that this massive $1 trillion-plus package is actually free and paid for. Watch.
The cost of the Build Back Better bill in terms of adding to the deficit is zero. Because we're going to pay for it all. In addition to that, half of it is a tax cut. It's not spending money, it's a tax cut for working class people. When you talk about the number, we shouldn't even talk about the numbers because it's all paid for, written in the same piece of legislation. So you pass the spending, you're also passing the tax cuts, and you're passing the taxes that are going to be increased.
I don't know what he's talking about. There are no tax cuts in this plan. Senator Kristen Sinema, in fact, is pushing back, saying that she's not going to agree to tax increases. They want to increase taxes on corporations and high-income earners. The senator says that is the wrong move for the economy right now. Joining me right now is the former director of the OMB, Office of Management and Budget. He is the Center for American Restoration president, Russ Vought. And Russ, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. First, your reaction to what you just heard from President Biden.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Maria. I mean, the president continues to be economically illiterate on one hand and not recognizing that his plan has major costs on the American people, on American business, and making us uncompetitive. And on the other hand, he seems to not be aware that the senators in his own party are pushing back on the so-called pay-fors in the plan that would allow him to have some justification to say from an accounting perspective it all adds up. And right now they're going through the charade, one of the oldest charades in the book here in Washington, D.C., of trying to jam $4 trillion into $2 trillion. When they judge things in Washington, it's over a 10-year horizon, and now they're trying to do artificial sunsets and expiration dates to really just jam the same program and plan into a cheaper straitjacket.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Cornerstone Macro's head of U.S. policy research, Andy LaPerriere, told me yesterday on these gimmicks in this plan. Listen to what he said when he joined me yesterday.
And what the White House outlined yesterday to congressional Democrats is more like $4 trillion stuffed into $2 trillion. And so the big question is Joe Manchin going to go for that? I mean, he's expressed concerns about the debt and deficits, and this would create either larger structural deficits or the need for more revenue down the road. So I think they're going to end up having to scale back actual programs, not just the price tag.
So, Russ, they're pretty much getting to a $2 trillion number because they're saying that the child tax credit will go away after 1 year. Other major federal programs will go away after 2 years. What are your thoughts on whether or not those programs would go away?
They won't, and that's the problem. That's what makes them artificial as a sunset, and there is no short-term spending in Washington, D.C. So once you create an entitlement, once you create a benefit, you create an interest group, and you create a push on the political class each and every year to continue that spending. And so they're talking about a pilot program for dental care and Medicare when Medicare is already going broke in about 5 years. Well, what's going to happen? That pilot program is going to be expanded very, very quickly. These are the reasons why artificial scorekeeping in Washington, D.C. is so broken, because unlike businesses and families, that there is never an accurate accounting of the real-world impact of what spending and taxes will both do in the real world, but also judging it just in terms of what's outside the four corners of a paper that you're looking at.
Real quick, give me your reaction to the interview that I just had with Mark Zandi, because I questioned why we're even negotiating and talking about more money thrown at the economy in this $2 or $4 or $5 trillion package, wherever you come down on it, while we have this surging issue of inflation. He said it's not a problem.
My reaction is
that's not the reason.
My reaction is that it's madness, and that this notion that you're going to have inflation that's transitory and that you're going to add add $4 trillion in the future, and in the present, there's going to be immediate spending from this. It's just going to make the situation worse. And we have the reality that the increases in home pricing will be something that will take effect into next year's CPI. And there's a lot of things that are driving that and going to make inflation worse over the next 6 months to 8 months that this just adds to.
I mean, do you think that one of the reasons that employers could not find the people to put back in the jobs was because people were doing fine at home with government checks and they didn't want to return to work because they were getting free money?
Categorically, yes. The levels of spending between unemployment and just all of the benefits the federal, state, and local governments give now have made it far too easy for people not to get back into the workforce to be able to ensure that they can put food on the table for their families.
All right. Russ, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much. We'll keep watching all of that. Russ Vought joining us this morning.